Now.
Now? They can hear
Yes.
us. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Oh, if you all could only see. If you all could only know the eagerness with which Dana anticipates the beginning of all of our live streams, whether it's one of these or Trek Reluctantly on Wednesday or anything else. Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Steve, are we live yet?
Are we live yet? Did you push the buttons? Have you pushed all the buttons?
Oh, that's that. Yes, that's another Dana classic. Have you pushed all the buttons? Sometimes you'll ask me that when we have like 20 minutes before we're supposed to go on. You're like, have you pushed the buttons yet?
Like you haven't pushed. But I always ask, have you pushed all the buttons but the last one?
That's right. Yes, because it's the big blue go live button that is, you know, that's like the point of no return where it's like, okay, we've got to do this now. So
I'm resisting.
So, okay. So I hopefully everybody watching knows why we're here, but just in case you don't, we are going to watch what I have been referring to incessantly as the first Last Indiana Jones movie, because in about 2 weeks, the hopefully last Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, will open in theaters. So to mark the occasion, we have decided to do one of our back row watch-alongs where we're going to watch the first Last Indiana Jones movie, which is, of course, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Yes, and Dana's opinion, and in the opinion of many people, it must be said, it is not only the first last Indiana Jones movie, it's the best Indiana Jones movie.
Well, no, I was going to say it's the best last Indiana Jones movie.
It's definitely.
I think you also agree with.
I mean, unless this one coming out at the end of the month is really good, it's the best last Indiana Jones movie. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So Dana and I are going to be watching it on Disney Plus. It's available there. It's also available on Paramount Plus. That's of course just in the US. I'm not sure where all it's available streaming internationally. Or you could also have it on DVD or Blu-ray, but whatever version of it you're watching, wherever you are watching it, make sure that you have it set up and ready to go and paused at 0, because after Dana and I get done having some chit chat, I'm going to count us in and we're going to watch it all together. So
yeah, I mean, Steve, they might act. It is theoretically possible that they could have it on VHS.
You know what? I had a copy of it on VHS once upon a time.
Back in the day. Actually, that was something that I included. I finished up an article response for the course I'm working to my ESOL endorsement for my teaching certificate.
Right.
And that was something I included. I don't think I qualify as a young person any longer.
Oh.
So I believe that we are middle-aged, Steve.
Well, technically you are middle-aged because you're 45. I'm not 45 yet. 45 is the cutoff.
I love that it's the cutoff.
I'm only 43.
It's not, Steve. If you're making that kind of distinction, you're middle-aged. And you're veering towards middle-aged Karen territory there.
No, 45 is the start of middle age.
Okay. Sure, Steve.
But you're only as old as you feel. And I feel quite young. I feel quite youthful.
Yeah, now you do.
Except when I'm around like significantly younger people. And then I'm like, what am I? Am I in my 60s? I think I might be in my 60s. Like anytime I'm around like teenagers or 20 somethings and I'm like, what? No, you know what? I'm old. Never mind.
Or when you exercise. I don't know about you, but that always makes me feel old.
Sometimes it depends. There are times if I go for, like when I exercise here at the house and I just do my calisthenics and my stationary bike, I don't feel like old after that. But sometimes when I go for a walk, especially if it's a really long walk, like if I do an extra lap around the park or something, like by the time I get home, like when I'm actually out still doing the walk, I'm keeping up my pace and I'm doing I'm walking, I'm working out, right? But as soon as I get home and I get through the door, I'm like Fred Sanford. I mean, I'm just like, okay, you know, and I'm like, my feet are sore, my legs are sore, you know, like,
I'm
so yeah.
sore all over. Like my knuckles are sore. My knuckles ache. Ah, see, your public agrees with me.
Okay. First of all, Doug is doing the same thing that you and Jason have both done, which is you are taking the average life expectancy and sort of, you know, picking the middle of it and saying, okay, middle age starts there. That's not how it's
That's
reckoned. It's not like a
that's
mathematical thing.
mathematically accurate. Well, the
That's not what
marketing demographic apparently, I mean, 18 to 35 is young adult. So that means 35 is the beginning of middle age.
I don't. You know what? Can I just say something? That may be true, and I trust Ace's expertise in this area. I just, you know, I don't like that. I don't care for that.
Steve,
Yeah, yes.
I believe you. And you know what I didn't say?
You didn't say that I was right.
I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Because you're not.
I did notice that. I did notice that you didn't say I was right.
So it's
But
okay,
anyway.
though. Oh, because
Yeah.
you know the fact that you are stipulating that you are only 43 and that is not the start of middle age. You know what that
Not
is?
yet.
You know what that's
What
a
is
sign
it?
of?
What is that? What is it a sign of?
That's a midlife crisis, Steve.
No. I haven't. No, I don't have one of those. No, I haven't had one of those.
You're having one, apparently. You're in
Just
the
because,
middle.
no, listen,
Midlife
listen.
crisis.
Just because I'm divorced and I'm working out for the first time in my life doesn't mean that I'm having a midlife crisis.
You're also driving a red pickup. I'm just saying.
I've had the red pickup for years.
But you drive a red pickup.
Yeah, well, technically it's orange, but I see what you're saying.
Oh boy. Oh,
Cast Iron Chaos. Is that true? Last Crusade was one of the movies directly responsible for the PG-13. I thought the PG-13 had been around for about for 7 or 8 years by that point.
See, Don, that doesn't make sense because so if there's young adult, and then how is middle after young and adult?
I like Don's version.
And
you should too, because it means because if we go by that, Temple of Doom, that makes more sense. If we go by Don's version, you're not middle-aged yet either.
I don't care.
So why can't we agree on this? Why can't we get together on this?
Because precision matters, Steve.
God.
Oh gosh, Gremlins. Holy buckets. Yeah,
Gremlins. Yes, I can see Temple of Doom being one of the catalysts for PG-13 because it's not, you know, it's not hard enough to be an R, but you watch it and it's like, well, I don't know if this is PG. I mean, there's people like ripping hearts out of dudes' chests and eating them. Like that doesn't feel like PG material to me, you know?
Well, I mean, PG is supposed to mean parental guidance suggested.
And it would require a lot. Oh, 255 AD. So he thinks so. So your dad thinks Last Crusade is the worst one?
That doesn't make sense because there have been ones, you know, there was one since then. How come that one's not the worst? Since it's also since 1995.
Well, he said he stopped watching movies in about 1995, which means he hasn't seen Crystal Skull. But I mean, like, look,
how can you say it's worse than Temple of Doom?
I like Temple of Doom. I like Temple of Doom a lot, but Last Crusade is better than Temple of Doom. I mean, I guess there are some people who think that Temple of Doom is better than Last Crusade. I mean, opinions vary, you know, it's to each their own, but that's pretty unusual to find someone that prefers Temple of Doom to Last Crusade. And again, I say that as someone who really likes Temple of Doom. But Last Crusade is...
Maybe Temple of Doom is his favorite, and he thinks it's better than Raiders too.
Well, that's just ludicrous. Again, it's
always thinking it's better than the Last Crusade.
It's an opinion, and you know, and there is no right or wrong. It's not objective, it's subjective, and it's not incorrect to say that Temple of Doom is better than Raiders, but it is ludicrous.
Some opinions are wrong, Steve.
No, Dana. No, Dana.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only opinion that is wrong is the opinion that some opinions are wrong.
No.
Because you know that is not the nature of an opinion.
There are some people who are of the opinion that Trump should be elected president again. Also wrong.
And I vehemently disagree with that. And I would say, listen,
because they're wrong.
I would say that they're wrong, but that is not the same as me saying that objectively they are incorrect. It's not a matter of fact. It's not like saying 2 + 2 = 5. You see what I'm saying?
They're going to send you to room 101 next.
Don Glover, please don't ruin Temple of Doom for me. Please don't ruin Temple. Please don't ruin Temple of Doom for me.
You know, that would have made it better if they just had some dice rolling in there.
Yeah, that's what it needed. It needed some fucking dice and a bunch of fucking nerds sitting, a bunch of fucking nerds sitting around a table pushing up their taped together eyeglasses.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah.
Don't like Temple of Doom.
I know, because I know we've told this story before, but we was it last year, I guess, or it might have even been the year before, but
at some point
we were planning on doing a video about Temple of Doom, and we
Why
sat
did we
down.
Skip Raiders?
I forget what we were. I think we were talking about something to do with Indiana Jones, and somehow we settled on watching Temple of Doom together and then talking about it. I can't remember what the specific thesis was, but the point is, it wound up being a video about how we didn't watch Temple of Doom because we started to watch it. We didn't get past the opening credits, and you could not go on. So we didn't watch Temple of Doom, and we didn't make a video about Temple of Doom. We made a video about
not
the fact
Temple
that
of Doom.
We didn't watch Temple of Doom.
Still got the content.
Yeah. Hey, it was. I mean, it was, fun.
The video we made was fun.
Fun. Yeah, and I would have had fun if we had watched Temple of Doom. But
well, fine. You know what? After this, go watch Temple of Doom.
I can't. No, I'm not gonna. No, after this, I'm gonna probably go to bed.
You middle-aged man.
How dare you? How dare you?
I'm just saying. You're going to bed earlier and earlier. You're getting up. You're exercising.
I got to get up early tomorrow. I got to get up early tomorrow. I am a vegetarian, but I've been a vegetarian for several years. I got to get up early tomorrow because I have 2 videos to shoot. And I also have Star Trek to watch in the afternoon because tomorrow afternoon, Jason and I are watching the first episode of season 2 of Strange New Worlds, so we can do our review.
Nerd.
Just like we did for Picard season 3, except the difference is hopefully I'll like it this time. So yeah. And then tomorrow night is wrestling. Tomorrow night is the first episode of AEW Collision, the long-awaited return of CM Punk.
Nerd.
Yes. Exactly. So anyway, 255 AD says, my dad saw The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with me when I was 11, even though that's a movie he thought it was amazing because didn't realize how much visual effects had moved on. Oh, I see. So he had a gap, and then he went back, and he was like, oh my God, it's amazing, because he hadn't been keeping up with visual effects development. Yeah, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, not a good movie, fantastic comic book. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comics are outstanding.
Stellar,
yeah, some of Alan Moore's best work. But the movie, which is a shame because the movie's really well cast. I mean, Sean Connery is Alan Quartermain. That's nothing wrong with that, Yeah,
but I mean, part of it is it feels like they tried to go more MCU on it.
Yeah.
They went for awesome, and it's not an awesome story. It's not an awesome kind of story.
No, it's really not.
It's clever and inventive, and but if you go just full on Hollywood blockbuster, it's like that's a different story.
Yeah. Well,
and
I think like, well, because I think one of the big things is like, they changed a couple of things from the comic, which I don't have a problem with in principle. I have no problem with adaptations changing stuff from the source material as long as it results in something good. But like, one of the things about Alan Quatermain in the comics is that during the era of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen stories in the comics, Alan Quatermain is an old man, and he is over the hill. He's past his prime. He's not the vigorous adventurer that he once was. But Sean Connery in the movie plays him like he's still the man. Like Sean Connery doesn't play the frail old Alan Quatermain. He plays robust, senior citizen, but still got it Alan Quatermain, and it's like, okay, but it's not as interesting,
Yeah.
And then in the movie, they make Mina Harker actually a vampire, when in the comic, she's not. Like, she's on the team because she's smart and capable, not because she has supernatural powers. Like, there's the Dracula connection, but she's not actually a vampire. And again, it takes away a layer and makes it a little more obvious and just a little less interesting. So,
yep, more awesome.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Cast Iron Chaos, you say Raiders is cited as one of the perfect Hollywood movies. And I agree with you, but I don't necessarily see that as a good thing. There's a lot that's messed up about Hollywood, and I think Raiders shows it off pretty dadgum well.
There are some problematic things about it, but I don't know if I would say Raiders is the perfect Hollywood movie, but in terms of like popcorn movies, like movies to just sit down and watch and have a great time, Raiders is pretty high on the list.
Yeah.
Pretty high on the list. Actually, so all three of the original indies are high on the list for me. The one we're going to watch here in a minute, in Last Crusade, is
definitely.
It's a fantastic.
It's okay. I'm doing all right though. I don't be sad, Steve.
You don't be sad?
Because 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Tell me you saw that. You saw that.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
JT, I'm not with you on loving Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I think it's a bad movie. Although I think we did end up agreeing, Steve, that it wasn't an awful movie.
We found a little bit of common ground on Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
You're agreeing that it's not a good movie.
Right. I said it was fine.
I'm agreeing that it's not an awful movie.
So there's,
Yeah, there's this. We're within, but I am not.
We're not actually touching. We're like this.
Yeah. We're not as far apart as I thought we might be. Because you said that it's fine, and you also said that fine means acceptable. I'm like, I ain't interested in accepting that. I have no interest in watching it ever again. Thank you very much. I've got better things to do with my entire life.
Well, look, I'm not running out. Look, I haven't watched it for years. I mean, I have it on DVD. I haven't watched it in I don't remember how long. So
we might have gone to see it in theaters, and not since.
I think I got it. I saw it in theaters, and then I got a DVD set of all 4 of them. So it came with that. And I think I might have watched it on the DVD once since I got it, that's about it. But like, it was one of those things where like with the Star Wars prequels, I think the hate of the Star Wars prequels was over the top too. Not because the movies were not that bad, because I think the Star Wars prequels are all terrible, but just the amount of vitriol. It's like, guys, calm down. It's a bad movie. Like, just relax, okay?
Some of my favorite words: bitter and vituperative.
It's like, yeah, okay, they're shitty movies. I'm not arguing, but calm down. Seriously. Of course, right, that I still haven't seen 2 and 3. And good for you, by the way. I had not seen 2 or 3 until Jason and I reviewed them for late seating. Actually, no, I had seen 2. I hadn't seen 3.
Sucker.
I went to see the second Star Wars prequel in the theater, and I was like, you know what? I'm done.
I was done after the first. I've done
yeah.
I've never felt so betrayed by a movie. Never in my life.
You're not alone. I think it was like, that was our generation. Here's how spoiled our generation was when we were growing up. Our generation's Kennedy assassination was episode 1.
No.
Yes. Oh, what was it? 9/11? 9/11 wasn't nearly as bad as episode 1.
No, because that's different. Like the thing is, it's about the inversion of expectations. Like I thought I was so excited.
Oh, sure.
Like legitimately camped out for tickets and got there early the morning of the night it released and sat there all day so that I could sit where I wanted. And it was a crappy little theater. Mm-hmm. You know, this was just at the mall and it was a crappy little theater. And I dressed up, made my own costume, legitimately told other people who were standing in line with me that I was a character from episode 7 because this was going to be a trilogy of trilogies. Not even kidding.
Wow.
Yes.
And they bought it? They were like, yeah, sounds good to me.
I'm telling you, you say it with confidence, and especially when you're dressed up and everybody else is a Star Wars fan, they're going to buy that. And I was just like, no. I mean, overall, prequel trilogy, sum it up as Padme Amidala deserved better.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that's my big takeaway. There's a lot else that's wrong with it, but that was just like
every character in it deserved better, but yeah, Padme was especially shabbily treated. But anyway, but my point was, like, with the prequels and I get it to a point. I part company with the prequel haters because they just went so far over the top with, you know, how much they hated it and how bad it was. And it's like, all right, I get it. They're shitty movies, but calm down. With Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I was like, all right, like, this isn't good, but y'all are talking about this like it's the worst movie ever made. Like this, like this, you know, has ruined the movie going experience for you for life. Like it's the worst thing it's like, okay, you really seriously need to get a grip. Like, it's not Last Crusade, but fucking calm down. Like, it's a mediocre Indiana Jones movie. Just relax.
I mean, I guess I wasn't excited about Crystal Skull. Like, the previews were pretty good at showing what it was.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, I was not surprised. I was like, wow, yep, that sucked. Okay. That's what it was. That's what saved it. That's what the one thing that was good about Crystal Skull. I felt vindicated. I was right.
You were. Oh,
I thought it would suck.
I knew it. Right. I knew it.
Yep. I got proved right, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
that's it. So yeah, I'm planning to not go see the
Dial of Destiny. Boy, talk about. I mean, they're.
Honestly, like seriously.
Not a great title. I mean, I know that apparently,
not only that, the ones that have been good have been ones where they actually worked with a legendary artifact of some kind.
Yes.
And I'm like, where's the story with Indiana Jones and Excalibur? That's the one.
That could be one. Yeah, that could be one.
That's the obvious pick. That's the story I want. Not Indiana Jones and Excalibur. I want the story of why they passed that over. I want that story. That's what I want to know.
See, that's like Gene Siskel always used to say, is the movie, he would say, ask yourself, is the movie you're watching right now more interesting than a movie of these actors just having lunch? And like, I feel like it's
a pretty high bar in some cases.
I feel like it's a similar thing. It's like, I would rather watch a documentary about how they decided to choose the MacGuffin of this movie than to watch this movie.
I mean, I did not. I enjoyed The Mandalorian, but let me tell you,
Yeah,
the roundtable discussions, I loved those.
yeah,
like even more, and that I mean it. So sometimes it's a high bar.
More interesting to talk about than to watch sometimes.
I mean, I find like I've talked about with you. I really enjoy hearing you talk about, here's how I decided to do this, your process. I like that. I like that aspect of storytelling. And in this case, they also talked about, the music, the composition of the music, how they built that. They talked about the technology. And so it's like all this kind of really fascinating stuff. So it's not just lunch. It's like all this sort of stuff that I kind of know about. Like, and of course, with it being Disney, like the building of the backdrop, like the magic backdrop, like that's really, really cool.
Oh, the digital thing, like the
projected backdrop. I'm just like, that. I mean, and just the actors talking about the fact that like you feel like you're there, and I'm just like, oh, that's just so cool.
I think cool. Mandalorian was the first series to use that. I think because like Star Trek has one, Paramount has one now that they use for the new Star Trek shows, but I think the Mandalorian was the first show to do that, where it's like a giant wraparound screen, and it's like a digital background, but it's tied into the camera, so when the camera moves, the background moves appropriately. So it's not just like a static backdrop with some animated stuff on it. Like it actually moves and flows with the camera. And I mean, and the nice thing about it is it's like, even though making that and the system that operates it is a massive expense, once you have it, like all of those virtual worlds, like if you want to have the Mandalorian standing on an alien planet or something, like it's all in camera. Like once you've got it set up on the screen, like you just shoot it and then you've got it in the camera. There's no green screening. There's no After Effects you need to go. I mean, they still do stuff, they still do post-production visual effects to it anyway. But in terms of the environment, it's just, oh, we've got it in the camera. He's there. There he is,
Yeah. It's really, really, really cool. So plug for that. Pay us, Disney.
So speaking of Disney,
yes, we should. It's almost 6:30.
Shall we watch this movie that Disney didn't make but now owns? There's a lot of those. These last 10 or 15 years or so. All right, so we are watching once again Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Dana and I are watching it on Disney Plus. We have it paused at 0, and we're going to start watching it as soon as I count us down. There is a time code up above our beautiful faces on the live stream, and if you get out of sync with us, you can catch back up with us using that time code. That will be synced to where we are in the movie. And let's get ready to watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Are you ready, Dana?
I'm so ready.
All right, here we go, everybody. I'll count us in from 3. I'll do 3, 2, 1, play, and we'll all hit play when I say play.
One last thing. I apologize if I start quoting along with the movie. I'm really, really sorry. It may happen. I will mostly try to resist.
There are some very quotable lines, so that's okay.
So many of them.
Quite a few. Junior. And I make no apologies for
you are named after the dog?
I make no apologies for busting out my shitty Sean Connery impression, because I'm sure that is going to happen. I'm sure that is going to happen. But Jehovah starts with an I. Okay, you ready?
But if you are a Scottish lord, then I am Mickey Mouse. That's why Disney owns it. They're just like, they sued. And they're like, So, all right. I'm so ready.
Here we go. All right.
Woo!
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, play. A Paramount picture.
Wait, no.
No.
255 AD. Remember, we're middle-aged. I guess you were too young to see the digitally remastered
Oh yeah, the special editions, yeah.
Special editions, yeah. A whole hunch out the first thing.
Speaking of being middle-aged, being old, I still refuse to call it episode 4. It's Star Wars. That's the name of the movie, Star Wars.
Okay. Now who's being pedantic?
Me.
There
because the name of the film is Star Wars, and the name of the second one is The Empire Strikes Back, not Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. It's The Empire Strikes Back.
Blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
Pretty.
Cast Iron Chaos, I know. This is such a formative day for young indie, isn't it?
Yeah, this is like, 10 minutes of absolute fan service, but it's well done fan service.
It's, yeah, I mean, it's a shame that, like, apparently after this, Hollywood thought, let's just do entire movies that are just the first 10 minutes of Last Crusade, where we give, like, cutesy little explanations for all of the character quirks of the hero. Music by John Williams. You don't say. You can't even tell.
Chaps. And there they go.
I will say the first time I watched this, the fake out of the guy in the hat, because you assume that's Indy, and then you're like, wait a minute. And Spielberg pushes in, and aha, it's not Indiana Jones. Fooled you.
And now, in case you missed that.
Yeah. It's very well done.
John Burns, the dog's name was Indiana.
We named the dog Indiana.
See, there you go. See, if I let you have that one.
See?
They've got lanterns, mister. I love the ants. Jeez. Those oil wicks, I mean, they are just...
They give brilliant. Off a lot of light, yeah.
I had the biggest crush on River Phoenix.
And he could act, too. Oh, thank God they're all facing the other direction. $255.80. Yes, he does. He has the floppy haircut.
Uh-huh. He's got our thing.
He's got our thing. Yes, John Burns, I do know that story. Apparently, her boyfriend was mobbed up and Sean Connery punched him out.
Everybody's lost.
Everybody's lost but me.
Such an idiot. That he has almost as much confidence as Ensign Shives.
Oh, yes. That is definitely an Ensign Johnson line. Thanks a lot, horse. Appreciate it. The horse is the smartest character. He's like, you're not jumping on me.
Ah, the cars. Lovely, although not quite as lovely as in Poirot, but close. Lots of butt stuff. Yeah, that's the other movie that we need. Indiana Jones and the put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Yes. I hear the train a coming.
Giraffes.
I can't get over how real those giraffes are. Uh, 255 AD. Yeah, I think this segment was the inspiration for the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. It's only a snake.
And here we go.
Oh, I think I'm going to not like these things from now on.
Honestly, they look like garter snakes to me.
Why does a circus have that many snakes?
I mean, based on the
Mr. I Love the Ants, they duck or they die.
Oh, the crying rhino.
I love how this guy's not even trying to get the cross back. He's just going to straight up murder this kid.
It's their thing.
Like, the
It's
cross
the
is
principle of
there on his belt. He could just grab it, but no, he's going to try to murder this kid.
I love this.
Yeah. Ah.
But I did it. I did the thing.
But, and again, just a quintessential Spielberg shot. Makes no sense, but it's visually awesome.
Oh yeah, and that we had the list, wasn't it? Getting there the snakes, getting the scar, getting his hat, and
Oh, yeah. Here it is. How am I ever going to keep this lion back?
How old is he? I mean,
The lion's like, all right, fine.
That's how you know he's a good guy. You didn't say, throw me the cross, and then I'll get you out of here.
Even though one of his henchmen was just trying to stab him 2 minutes ago. I'll stab you good.
Now, that looks like a copperhead. Indiana Jones was just too weak to open the door.
Yeah.
It's Indiana. I noticed they don't put the Greek on the screen.
Not important. Why are you doing that? Could you stop that? Thanks, Marshall Earp. I'll take it from here. Oh, I just remembered all of that just now. Ouch!
Ah, sailors with stripy shirts. Gotta love it.
Yep. Ace, yeah, that's a good point. Hopefully it's not that guy, though. Yeah,
Maybe that guy?
maybe.
Dun, 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 dun.
Don, I like that. Seems a bit cross.
Good thing you went over the side. Nobody else is going to need this.
Boy, that ship sank fast.
Yeah, but he doesn't lose it, Kara. $255 AD, slightly less so. Where do you think Coronado got the gold?
That's a great point. Never ever, do you hear me? Anyway, did I ever tell you kids about the archaeologist I met when I was a teenager after whom I patterned my entire adult style?
Except when I'm in the classroom.
Yeah.
That's based on a movie that doesn't exist yet. Checking out the female students again.
Yeah. Indy, we've talked about this.
No, Mr. I Love Dance, that's Comp 101.
This will go great in my personal collection.
And they don't actually come through the door.
I know.
It was
Because
a different era.
Because they respect him.
Because they know his status with the university and know they'll get thrown out.
We love learning. See, this is relatable to me because Professor Jones is saying, fuck them kids.
And you say that all the time.
I do.
25580, that's an excellent point. Yeah, being a co-ed university.
That's a good point, yeah. And by our, I mean people who work for me. The Holy Grail. It's the Holy Grail of Holy Grails. Joseph of Arimathea was notoriously careless with his things.
Unreliable.
Yeah. 255 AD, apparently, or at least it is one of the right religions.
He's touching it with his bare hands.
Yeah, that's not good for it.
Yep, this is good. I love this shot.
Yeah.
That slight.
That, yeah, the dip of the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so nice.
JT, I know, right?
Kara. Yeah. Yes,
If
I
they're
do.
like, yeah.
I absolutely do. I mean,
If they're like,
literally,
yeah, because the oils on your hands can damage the pages. Good thing I carry my mail around with me in my pocket all day.
you send it parcel post. It's less expensive.
It's my dad's 7 serial killer diary about the Holy Grail.
HB Haga, very. Kara, I mean, not just like random gloves, but like literally when I go to clean the old books at the library, they give me a special set of cotton gloves.
Cotton gloves, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for really old books, when they turn the pages, you'll slide something under it, and like,
right. So the page doesn't actually have to bear the weight.
and I'm curious, Kara, when you say old books, what sort of old you were talking about, and I mean whether they had you just go barehanded.
Look out! Don't get too close.
When I first saw this, I thought that Herman was Marcus, and I couldn't understand why he changed his name. I mean, the vibe is very similar.
Now it's an Indiana Jones movie.
Yep. Bleep.
Oh, Venice.
Are you ahead of me?
No, they just got there.
Okay.
The little red line was just hitting it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, that's okay.
It's the Venice. I saw Venice on the map.
Ah. They were shaded by the hat. How'd you see them?
I hope you have time for some love, Dr. Jones.
See, there you go. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's beyond gloves, but you still weren't touching it with your fingers.
Yeah. In the prologue, my father was drawing it.
He wasn't paying
255
attention
AD.
to his father, just like his father wasn't paying attention to him.
You got 255 AD. I've never heard that specific story, but it sounds like typical of, the sort of
Churchy folk.
The holy relic era of Christianity.
Kara, I'm not surprised. Jeez. His dad is dumb. Took him what, 45 seconds?
Yeah. This is one of my favorite parts.
Uh-huh. It's reminiscent of Spider-Man.
I love this part. I love that so much because they use the joke to explain how he's able to get down there without the librarian running after him and saying, like, what are you doing? Oh, how quaint. I don't know. This place is cool and everything, but I think it needs more skulls.
Just a few. They broke it, Mr. I Love the Ants. So the librarian couldn't tell, but the men with guns could.
We are also librarians and we don't appreciate the noise.
Mr. I Love the Ants, obviously, because they brought the lighter.
Exactly. That Zippo, it's throwing off the light.
Steve, do you know what it does?
What what does it do?
It makes it lighter.
Yes, it does. It's yes, you're right.
I think so. Looks, yeah. I saw it in a book once.
If you see a drawing of some stones with 3 lines on them, I've seen those too. Boy, he just George Reeves' his way right in there, doesn't he?
Yep. He's definitely not in Christopher mood anymore.
Ah. No, Christopher Reeve's Superman didn't smash through too many walls. George Reeves was doing that shit every week.
Let's just, dishonor.
I mean, it's not like he has any relatives that are going to object to his remains being plundered, you know?
Yeah, he objected to the guy saying Coronado's dead and so are all of his grandchildren. But apparently, when, it's not Coronado.
Yeah. Where's Crispin Glover when you need him? That is a reference to Superman, Kara.
I'd rather walk. That's just so, man, that carry is so uncomfortable. Like the shoulder smack in your pelvis. Oh.
Oh man, we'll never get our tiny cars in here. It's like a rat swimming pool.
Aw, he doesn't want to step on them. You don't know how. You are so lucky it didn't go down further.
Yeah, for real. Well, yeah, 255 AD. I mean, in real life, like
it's remarkably challenging.
If you hit someone in the head hard enough to knock them out, you've probably seriously injured them and they need to go to the hospital. Like it's not like, oh, they're going to be out for a few minutes and then they wake up and they're fine. Like in the movies, they're like, nope. No, you fucked them up. If you hit them so hard, they fell unconscious. They need to see it, go to a hospital like right away.
See, why does like the dripping flame not light everything on fire? Okay, I'm shutting up now.
That is a good, yeah. Oh yeah.
See, Kara, the thing is, that's how I feel. Anytime I see something like Annie, where there's like, these neglected children, they always look perfectly fine to me.
Shut up. Everybody out of the pool.
Now, here.
Sorry, we don't have a reservation.
Well, they throw you out if that's the case. Oh, wait, no, that was the tickets. We're also still not there yet. Jeez, Steve. HB Haga, Dresden is always saying stuff ain't his fault. Just lies. So like a man. Kara, I think that is also true of the children.
You would think.
I would rather hope. Go between them? Are you crazy? She's not happy.
Yeah, hit him again.
Will you see Kira and Mr. I Love the Ants? All the gunk, what's on top of the water.
Right, it was floating.
Very important. You said go between them. Boom, boom.
Whew. Oh, yeah.
Yes, because covering your eyes is going to be so helpful.
People always do that in movies, though. When they're about to crash, they always go, no!
Next.
Smoke's probably not a good thing.
You didn't get as close as you did. House yours. Love that. It's like that's so many favorites.
All right, you called my bluff.
Well, it's so good that she drove up at that point because, man, if she hadn't, that would have sucked. 255 AD, that's more accurate.
That's more realistic, yeah.
Won't say it's accurate.
Ta-ta.
Prologue King has kind of been counting the corpses. Of course, some of them, like the folks that got dumped over the side of boats, like
Who knows?
The dude who was in the boat with the last guy there, he just got dumped over the side. He didn't get into the fan or anything. Now the three who were going through who went because that's going to be helpful.
I would say
they're pretty much goners. The canyon. How far is this path? Don't know.
Well, I'd say we're close, Marcus. It's one more day up in the canyon and one more night in Hollywood.
Venice, Steve. They're in Venice.
Venice. That's what I meant to say.
Yes.
Venice Beach. That's close to Hollywood, right? Turn down that jazz. You call that music? Good thing I showered with it.
If you think that she should be forgiven.
Nice.
She's a menace. Because they're not in Hollywood.
They're in Venice. Hey, that's great.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, Dr. Jones. In some cases, literally.
Yes, indeed. Give me that.
I love that the couple on the boat is sitting so privileged.
Venice.
Cast iron chaos, not so much.
No.
There are related jokes.
Yeah, yes, that the subject does come up.
Definitely gets a record scratch there.
Castle Dracula.
Further south.
Yeah.
This is Dracula's cousin.
Yes.
Well, Mr. I Love the Ants. Have you gotten an Uber like boat driver? My beret. And I am not Mickey Mouse. I am Dracula. Oh, careful of the tapestry.
The tapestries. Well, he got to have his fun.
It breaks the heart.
I did not see this coming. Oh boy, Nazis with
Indiana
a big map. That's never a good sign.
They're playing. Are they? Is it?
Risk?
No. With the little spinny thing. Place your bets. Roulette.
Oh, roulette. Oh, probably.
Or possibly shuffleboard.
Also, we kind of talked over, but I love his line, Nazis, I hate these guys. Talk about an understatement.
And details are available in the gift shop. You should have just used the door, dude.
You stay here. I'm going to do my Indiana Jones thing.
Not so much with the crabs, I think, Mr. I Love the Ants. Yes, sir. I love it. $255 AD, I would say from what overall Bond based on the body of work, just because there are more Bond movies and books than there's Indiana Jones stuff. Thank you, story pad. Oh, what a relief. Yeah, Philip, I absolutely. It's just instinct.
Yeah.
And he straightens up too. I love the way he's like, yes, sir.
Yeah, it's great. I desecrated it myself. Yeah, and then I flipped him into the water and used his casket to protect myself. It was great.
Well, the lamp, obviously. That's stupid. And then, oh, I love that face. You didn't. You did. To the Marx Brothers.
I should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers. Yeah.
Nobody downstairs notices that.
Oh, Dad, I've killed tons of people. I've murdered so many people over the years. You don't even know.
Gasp.
He should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers.
I am stupid. Dun 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 dun. There we go.
Well, I am played by Sean Connery, Sean.
Why did you? Because he really is that stupid.
That's an interesting detail, 25580. I didn't know that.
He has given them to Marcus Brody. You didn't drag poor Marcus along, did you? Good sell here.
Oh, yeah.
Or even ancient Greek. No, thank you. No, thank you. And he does have the sense to tuck it back away.
Mm-hmm. Still not running. Oh, run. Oh, that's, yes, right.
I thought you were trying to speak in ancient Greek. Run. Super, super conveniently located truck.
I know, right?
That is exactly the shape of that concrete friggin' gate. Let's just
Again,
go.
perfect Spielberg shot. Makes absolutely no sense, but it looks cool. And you get caught up in the movie and you just go with it.
You're blonde. We like you.
Oh, but I wanted to kill them.
I like that they have a reason for not just shooting them.
Right.
I'm like kind of fixated on her hairstyle, like the way it folds over itself and like doesn't just show the not show the part, but shows the folds, and
Yeah.
very nicely done. I don't, if it's a wig, it's also very nicely blended. I was lying, Dad. Oh yeah, cast iron case. I don't think you were sounding sexist. That's part of the. I mean, and using sex to get ahead. I mean, it makes sense given the setting as well.
Damn Zippo lights every time.
His lucky lighter with the 4-leaf clover on it.
Yep.
So lucky.
Who knew these old castles were so damn flammable?
It's combustible. The floor is on fire.
The floor's on fire.
And the chair. Uh-oh. 255 AD. I'm fond of the like puffed sleeves under a vest, but I mean the sateen there, not keen on that. It just looks Now I'm not entirely sure why they don't kill Brody, but actually I think they. And Brody, but we're just not thinking about him at all.
Never mind.
I think that's supposed to be funny. Yeah. But I've always found that. This, on the other hand. I like the deep cut of the collar. Like it's always like a blazer, but not quite. Nobody notices the change in light at all.
Well, somebody notices. Hi.
I like that she smiles back. Hello. They didn't notice that it was on fire when they like looked through, but that's okay. Dun dun dun.
Ah, very clever, Dr.
See?
Jones.
Hitler's good for something after all.
That's using his head.
Now, fortunately, the door doesn't disappear when
It
he
doesn't,
gets back
yeah.
up. He dislikes boats almost as much as he dislikes snakes.
Well, his last boating experience wasn't very pleasant.
What about the boat?
We're not going on the boat?
Why they don't wait for them to, they just get right back out of the boat. I don't know. Jones, get back here. So
oh, that's not good.
chase scene. That's rude, Junior. I guess maybe they couldn't tell, where everybody was since they were boarded up in the crate.
Right.
There's a gate here for a reason, you assholes. Mr. I love the Ants, he was trying to get a gun out, but then Indy poked him with a stick.
Right. Excuse us. Doesn't anything impress you?
I thought I did pretty darn good getting us not killed.
Yeah, 255 AD, exactly. That is a big part of it.
Then just the map. I'm such a failure, Steve. down in my diary so that I would have to remember. Yes.
That's for Jesus.
Because God ain't got nothing to do with it. Oh, well. I like this, though. She knew I was obsessed, and she let me have my way, and, you know, she was an enabler. So I just let her die.
Ah, Berlin. Hi. Hi. Another classic Spielberg shot coming up here. He sure got dressed fast, didn't he?
And nice, yeah. And also just nice work in the score.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's got the oopa feel for very dramatic, and it's a very cheerful beat. Da-dun, 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 da-dun.
A 255 VD. Yeah, I mean it. I think it would feel a little old fashioned now. But I mean, I don't see why you couldn't.
Yeah. On a motorcycle.
Yeah, you tell her, Indy. I'm not pleased with you right now.
The nice thing about getting the signature is that they know the book is not going to be grabbed and burned.
Yeah. Stay cool this summer. Wow, an autograph from Hitler in pencil.
I'll erase that after we get the Grail out, I promise.
He's just like, no, fuck that. You think maybe they overdid it a little with the Nazi flags? I don't know.
Hmm. Oh, I
And
didn't mean to pop that bad.
A nice sick historical joke here, of course, that they're getting on board the Hindenburg.
Oh, did it say the Hindenburg? I missed that.
I don't know if it's actually the Hindenburg,
Oh.
but that's what the gag is.
I just thought it was that it moves slowly. That, first available flight out of Germany, and it's like a blip is not particularly fast, and they want to get out. But that works, Steve. I'm letting you have that joke.
Oh, thank you. Well, really, you're letting Spielberg have it because it was his joke.
You pointed it out to me. I'm accepting it.
Thank you.
He said, I have not seen them. Excuse me, it's Dr. Jones.
Oh, hello. That's what I thought.
What I love is that he says no ticket, despite the fact that he went up to folks and said, tickets, please, in German previously.
Yeah.
That's okay. Shh. Let it go. And you were human too. At least I realized she was a Nazi.
It's nice to see that Indy has apparently seen the light when it comes to sleeping with much, much, much younger women.
I mean, at least she was an adult.
Yes. Thank God for small favors.
Mr. I love the ants. We hear at least one passenger speaking English, so we wouldn't be going after the Grail at all, now would we?
Yeah, really.
No adventures.
Self-reliance.
Gotta rely on those shelves. Are they stable? Are they level?
Yeah.
Junior.
If you can't rely on a shelf, then what can you rely on?
You damned hypocrite. Man, relatively tiny compared to ocean liners? Have you been on a cruise? Gravy. The footsteps. Who is what? Okay. Uh-huh.
Well, it sure is a good thing. It sure is a good thing we risked our lives to come to Berlin to get this book.
But we got Adolf Hitler's signature. Ain't that great?
Yeah, it'll raise the value.
We can take it to the used bookstore and they'll give us a couple extra bucks.
We'll cross
So,
that bridge when we
exactly,
crash into it.
exactly how did you get out of the plane when you were flying it?
Yeah.
Just kind of curious there.
Okay, so this is a
Oh, I
minor
love this.
complication.
And yet, brilliant dialogue. What happens at 11 o'clock? 11:10, 11 o'clock. Fire. There's a fire. I love this freaking pistol. Oh, Mr. I love the ants. There is. It's just hard to see them because they look like ants.
Yeah.
Ah. Whoopsie.
I'm sorry, son, but this day in the life of Indiana Jones is about to become a day in the life of Harrison Ford.
Well, Mr. I love the ants. It has its own gunner because he was able to bring his dad with him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have. He would have just been using the pistol. Oh no! The goats! Run, goats! Run!
What am I doing? Carry your own bag.
He's taking care of his father. Wow, wide turning radius.
Yeah, great effect
I
shot.
almost forgot about that. Yeah.
What a great effect shot.
This is the new passing zone. You didn't have to say that. Why would you say that?
I mean, that whole sequence is just perfect.
It's really good. Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Stepping carefully. When I first saw it, I was like, but there's the one in the middle.
That's the magic bullet.
Swoosh. Mr. I love the ants. You are not wrong. And also this umbrella.
Yeah. I suddenly remembered my Charlemagne.
Wow. Haiti, how do we get across the Atlantic?
It looks different.
The hats are different. We've also got some teeth.
We'll have to take the Nazi
Henry
shit off,
Ford.
of course.
Henry Ford would approve because it is black.
And also, he also hates Jews.
I was unaware of this.
A familiar face.
Dun, dun, dun. There's no silver medal for finishing second.
For finishing
they gave him
second.
as many S words as they could come up with. Oh, there we go. Almost 8 o'clock on schedule. Rub spit in your face. But since I haven't got any spit,
The car belonged to my brother-in-law. 255 AD, it's just possible this Indiana Jones movie isn't completely historically accurate.
gasp.
I know.
Steve, how could you say such a thing?
I regret it already.
He is the only one who would possibly object to what we're doing.
Ah, yeah.
Nice aim, honestly.
Dead.
Do we know why he objects to camels so much?
I don't know.
Okay.
Dead.
time reading books instead of burning. S's and R's. Let's be clear. The other one.
Thanks for the horses, suckers.
My brother-in-law Scott makes perfect sense to me. I'm shushing. I'm shushing. I'm not going to say the lines of the movie. I'm going to not say the lines of the movie, Steve. How long do you think it'll last? Is there a betting pool in the comments? Hey, hey, That's different, though. The horse is not happy.
You know who would be a big help in this scene? The Incredible Hulk. He would take that tank just absolutely apart.
Oh, I was figuring he was just going to like... Oh, but wait. The older Dr. Jones and Marcus Brody are in there. Don't want to do that.
No. He'd have to pick it up over his head and shake it so that they fell out first. Whoopsie.
Why does the tank have so many guns? I'm so glad that in addition to saying something, he also like gestured.
Sure.
Horse. JT, that's good. Yes, he's dodging the bullets. Oh yeah, 25588, the whole train's running on time thing.
Yeah, but that wasn't my point when I said he. I mean, I didn't think that India was intentionally underselling how bad the Nazis are. It's just like that beat is an understatement. You know, he sees a room full of Nazis and his response is, "I hate these guys."
Yeah.
It's not like Indy clearly thinks that they're bad.
But it's not a fan of the Nazis.
Yeah.
He's not a fan. Nice gun.
And I do love Indiana Jones killing Nazis. It's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
I don't dislike that, but I'm partial to the dialogue.
He's making a lot of good Nazis.
Oh yes, Junior, I never thought of that.
Let me put on my gun shooting hat.
Let's help going over.
There's an Indiana Jones on the lens.
His arm is heavy. $255.80. That was cut for time. Look what you did. Isn't that what you said earlier? Yes, but now I know that they're bad guys. He just really loves the gestures.
Yeah, he's a very
Especially for
expressive
people
Nazi. Yeah.
With the hands. Yeah, maybe he's Italian. $255.80. I absolutely made that up. Like I said, say it with confidence. This is one of my favorite bits.
Yeah.
Oh. Right there. Yep. Roll to the side. Roll to the side.
Exactly. Sorry it took so long. I had to find a place to tie up the camels.
And he loses the hat.
Yeah, that's how you know it's serious.
And we get to see that he's still in it, just in case anybody's
Such
wondering.
a
And he
great
flops
shot.
around too.
Such a great shot.
Yes, Philip, exactly.
Totally. What are we looking at?
Well, it doesn't look good, but maybe he is okay.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
probably not now.
No, probably not.
Oh, thank God I don't have to be a father anymore.
Yep, that sucked.
You see my hat?
No, that's one of the reasons I love this, is because he doesn't pick up the hat.
Yeah.
Kara, I love that.
Figure it out, Marcus.
He was in there, and that's down there. It's a real head scratcher, Marcus. Literally, just go with it. Just go with it, man.
Wait a moment, over. There's Spielberg saying, "Don't forget the hat."
Yep. And like I said, I love that he doesn't get it. It just rolls on by.
It's like, okay, yeah. Time for the next scene. Pick up your hat. Ah, the Grand Canyon. So awe-inspiring, isn't it? Oh, never mind.
255 AD, they used it, ran over a couple of people. Had, somebody go with the tread over the top, which I think was used to set that up for Indy's dad. But
yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
I can tell that it's bedtime because my allergy medicine is wearing off. I'm like,
oh no,
stuffy.
We have about half an hour left.
No, because then we're going to talk about it.
Well, half an hour of the movie left. Yes.
Yes. Okay, movie's over. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.
Like, that's going to happen?
Boy, these horses are looking right at the camera. They're blowing these takes.
Literally.
We were promised oats.
But they're so cute. Well, if it doesn't have anything to do with Christianity, then why is it holding the Holy Grail?
Exactly, Dana. I question the authenticity. Oh, they're asleep. Look how cute. They're just taking naps.
Yep. Just mistreat the locals as one does.
Okay, we're running out of guys.
I really like this. It's so reasonable of him. Not so much, Kara, now.
Well, just wait a few years, dude.
That's just nice.
Yeah.
But I slept with him. Yeah, gut wounds. Those are notoriously bad.
Not good. Well, I'd be lying if I said I was looking forward to this.
Shh, Kara, he hasn't seen the end of the movie. I think this is where I learned, or where I was exposed to the word penitent. I had to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they were pretty penitent. They were penitent that they had been chosen. Rethinking their life choices, as I say every time I'm exercising. Meals. Oh dear. Those dadgum Romans.
Whoops.
I love that he's holding here.
Yeah.
And that's enough. Oh dear. Kara, I don't think that there's time to think. It goes pretty darn fast was sort of the point.
Yeah.
Hi. I mean, that those, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to die now. But at least it'll be quick. Oh. Oh. I'm very curious how they knew where. I guess, it's dusty in there and they can see his footsteps.
I guess, yeah.
Wow. Good thing they had, the, what's it called? Vanta Black.
Yeah.
Cast Iron cares. He prayed about it. That's right. I love the ants. Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I'm like, there's dust,
Yeah.
Yes, well, I don't.
And again, like this is one of those things. It only makes sense in a movie. Like in a
Uh-huh.
three-dimensional world, there's no way this illusion would be this convincing.
Like this, like this. Yeah, from that angle, it
Yeah.
doesn't work.
It would only, yeah, I mean, it would only work from one angle. Like as soon as you
Well,
look,
part of it is he's in a very narrow place.
right.
Like,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
even
he
so,
only has that one angle.
it's,
Yeah, and the idea that it's this flat plane that has been painted, it's like, okay, we're just
yeah,
going with it. It's a miracle.
exactly. I mean,
It
it's
makes
great. Like again, Spielberg is the master of this kind of thing. Like if you think about it for 2 seconds, you're like, this makes no sense at all. But you buy
the
it.
shot with his foot above nothing does not
Oh
make
yeah,
sense.
it's yeah.
But the shot with him looking down at it, you know, this does
Yeah.
give the context for that. Yeah.
And this is cool too. Again, like it's like the Invisible Man effect where you see,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah. It's great. It's great. My DoorDash is finally here. Should have brought more than one book. I'm realizing that now.
Uh-oh. Whoop. Absolutely. So much free time. Like he has not been Steve, unlike you, he has not been doing his calisthenics.
No, apparently not. Please kill me.
I've been using the sword on my beard for 659 years. Are you the cable guy? Here at long last.
Quite a collection of cookware you have
here. It's the
here.
plate, obviously. Context is key. I've just murdered this SOB.
Wink. It certainly is. Have a drink. Have a drink. Have a drink. Have a drink. Have a drink.
Yeah, I felt it's nice, and I mean the light flickering off of the false Grail, and then the lighting on the other cup as well.
Mm-hmm.
Funny, I don't feel any different.
Another great special effect coming up.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Sparkly
music. Mister, I love the ads. Oh, that's my chamber pot. I'm becoming Jack Palance. Wow, it's the end of a Dracula movie.
The little swastika pin's still there. So great.
You chose poorly.
Moisturize me. Moisturize me. Steve. Hydrate. Don't dehydrate. He dehydrated.
Yes, Ace, I had the thought too. He's turning into Christopher Lloyd. He's turning into the judge from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That specific Christopher Lloyd.
Exactly. Down the hatch. Tastes just like Jesus's blood.
Kind of salty.
Oh, it's peroxide.
I was thinking of it. You got there first.
Give me that.
I think Mr. I Love Dance, I would say bronze. And I think for durability, it's it's the Sam Vimes boots proposition in another form, that even if you have it makes it a little bit more expensive, but if it's going to last, because like you don't, whatever liquid won't hit the clay.
Right.
I think that's the idea. Very much like if it was going to be enameled. If it's just very, very thin, it's just to protect it during use. And it may just be enameling as well and paint. Weren't you listening? That is a very durable clay cup. Yep. And just great face from her.
Oh, yeah.
I love this. Look at that. Look at that. That's just.
That's the fever. That's the gold fever.
Da 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 da. I always thought his line was, "I can touch it," because he actually gets closer than she did, which is part of the intensification, the increased suspense.
Well, thanks for dropping by.
Can we just go? I told him he couldn't get a signal out here.
This is why I don't have guests. Mr. I love the ants. We could come back later with a magnet on a stick or something.
Like you did with all your, Cross of Coronado nonsense. Y'all, what you mean is the woman. Like literally that's her function in this movie. She's the chick.
The dog.
You want her named after the dog? Ha ha ha. Follow me. I know the way. Ah! And see, this is the other thing. Herman's horse sick. And like, I mean, honestly. One, there they go. They all go, and they all go. And then
I like how he steadies Marcus on his horse.
Very helpful. See, what a thoughtful friend. And they go riding off into the sunset.
They ride off into the sunset.
And then we have two more.
I know. It's like, why did you make more?
No.
Why did you make more? This final shot is perfect.
Sunset, exactly. Yes. I mean, we know why they made more.
Well, yeah, they made more because of this here. But I mean, yeah.
Oh.
So shall we stop?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
We weren't supposed to watch credits.
No, well, I mean, it's over. We could listen to the John Williams score, but yes, such a good movie. I mean, such a good movie. And what I love is like that moment near the end when he says, Indiana, let it go. That hits so hard because it's been set up. It's been set up throughout the movie, but they don't beat you over the head with it. You get that like Indiana kind of resents his dad for choosing his work over his family, and you get that Henry is like obsessed with the Grail. So like you know everything, but they haven't beaten you over the head with it. So then when it comes down to that moment when he says, Indiana, let it go. And yeah, like you say, it's his dream. It's his dad telling him, hey.
His dad who hasn't, gotten, who wasn't the one to get it. And yeah.
Yeah, it's his dad who's been chasing it his whole life, who is the one telling his son. Like he's finally choosing his son. He's choosing his son over the Grail. Over the Grail at the moment when
it really matters,
as close as he's ever been to it. And he's the one, and it's him saying, Indiana, let it go. It's not that important. I'd rather have you. I mean, it's just, oh,
yes, exactly.
It's so good. It's so good.
You are a sucker for father-son moments, ain't you?
I am, but I'm a sucker for genuine, like sincere, emotional moments that are earned.
Because here's the thing, it's not sincere. It's not. It's made up.
Well, it's a movie, yeah, but it's a movie, but it plays as earnest instead of corny,
Yeah, or superficial or fake,
manipulative,
not manipulative. And like you said, it's earned. Like they set it up and they did the right amount of setup. They didn't beat you over the head with it. but they didn't be like, oh, BT dubs.
Well, and because they do the thing on the cliff where Henry is like, when he thought Indy was gone, and he's like, I never told him anything. If only I had
all
5
I
more
needed
minutes.
Was 5 minutes. All I would have needed was 5 minutes. Yes,
but
the moment of realization, and then they get the payoff.
It's the moment of realization. So just to make it clear to us, oh, he does have regrets. He does realize that, he wasn't the best father, and, now he thinks his son is gone, and he realizes everything he didn't do. But that's half an hour before the end.
Yes.
Like a whole bunch of movie happens after that.
And set up
yeah.
Earlier when they're in the blimp, and he says, so you want to talk? We can talk now.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to say. Okay, then what you complain about? Everything's fine. And it's not. And it shows that he doesn't realize it at that point. So then that sets up the later moment when he does realize, oh, that was what I was supposed to do, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And then that sets up the ending.
Yeah. It also helps that even though they bicker throughout the movie, like, they're not at each other's throats. It's not written so that they hate each other. You can tell that, like, they're father and son, and there's a respect and a loyalty there. It's just that they disagree on stuff and they clash a lot, but it's not like it's not like they can't stand each other. Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't feel like a total turnaround. Like when Henry says, Indiana, let it go. It doesn't feel out of character. It doesn't feel like, now all of a sudden he doesn't hate his son. You know what I mean? It's like, no, they never hated each other.
Yeah.
They were just on different pages.
There was bitterness there.
Yeah.
And a lack of understanding. I think 255D's question is interesting, especially in light of Raiders. Because,
right.
And
someone mentioned that in the chat earlier too, yeah.
Henry's remark about the armies of darkness will march over the faces of the earth. Well, not necessarily. Now, the thing is, what they could do is, like, when they had, like, if they had troops that were injured, they could bring them there and heal them immediately, because it has that healing power. They could go in there, past the seal. They could use it in that manner. But given the limitation of transportation, and essentially, the scope of the earth and how long travel takes, anybody who's bad off enough to need the Grail ain't gonna make it to the Grail.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that it's not so much that, but I think Walter Donovan also mentions it earlier, that Hitler apparently learned his lesson from Raiders, and at this point he's not looking for something that will give him the power to do this. This is also, I think, later in the Empire, and so the implication is that the German army is at its height at this point, and so he's thinking he doesn't need it the way he was hoping to be able to use the Ark in order to, in front of his army, to just sort of push through. And like I said while we're watching it, yes, of course, because, like, the will of God has nothing to do with it whatsoever. We're just gonna let's go.
God just left these things on the earth, and he was like, hey, whatever you do with them, it's up to you. I have nothing to do with it.
Yep, have fun with these. Here's some toys.
If evil people get it, hey, sorry.
It's like when I gave the Legos to the cuttlefish, thinking that it needed something to play with so that it for mental engagement, and then it ate those darn things, and I felt so bad.
In your dream.
I was really worried. Yeah. Last night, apparently,
let's make it clear to the viewers. This is a dream you had.
I did not actually do this. I dreamed that somebody at our school, I think, had, like, a class pet, and it was a cuttlefish. And in the dream, cuttlefish are related to octopuses. And so I felt really bad because it was in the small tank and it didn't have any mental stimulation. I was like, I'm going to give it some different colored, like, Legos or something. And then this dadgum cuttlefish starts eating Legos. I was like, oh no.
Well, that's not supposed to happen.
Like, that's not. So.
Note to self, buy cuttlefish bigger Legos.
No, like, what I ended up doing was, I think I got, like, different colored pebbles, things that it could not actually, like, the plastic in the Legos was able to break it, and then it was able to eat the Legos. Right. So I got it, like, a larger multicolored pebbles so that it could move around and things like that. Yeah, the dream about making friends with the cuttlefish was very involved.
It sounds very intense. Yeah. I wanted to respond to 255AD's thing about, if the fact that they couldn't take the Grail out. I agree with what you said. And also, like, I mean, with Raiders and the idea that like Indy didn't actually affect the outcome because as soon as the Nazis opened it, it would have happened anyway. Like, um, I
But
think
why
Raiders.
they didn't have to open it?
Well, I think Raiders gets away with it because Raiders is such a good movie. It pulls you along. You're just engaged in the story and the adventure, and it's kind of like a fridge logic moment where like you don't really realize it until after the movie's over, and you're like, wait a minute. Indiana Jones didn't have anything to do with that. If he hadn't been there, the same thing would have happened.
Sort of. I mean, it would have been there, but the thing is, if somebody
Well,
had figured the premise is if somebody figures out to use it and not open the dadgum thing,
yeah,
then it makes your army invincible.
Right, but okay, but the point is, I think it's less of a problem in Last Crusade because ultimately Last Crusade isn't about stopping the Nazis.
Right.
Last Crusade ultimately is about Indiana's dad.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the emotional and one of the really nice things about the way the movie is written is that it makes that shift and you don't even realize it's happened. Like one of the really clever things that one of the really
I disagree. Go ahead, well, but I'm pretty confident.
But it makes that slide. So, you know, at a certain point, it's not about stopping the Nazis. It's about the father-son relationship. And that's the payoff that really matters. And that is a really good trick that a clever writer can pull where if you find yourself sort of in a, maybe like writing yourself into a corner almost where you're like, oh, how am I going to resolve this? You know, how am I going to pay this off? And a lot of times what you can do is instead of following through on the direction that the audience thinks you're going, you slide them over here and you give them something else to be invested in, to pay off, that feels even more meaningful and fulfilling and satisfying than the thing they thought they were going to get. Because honestly, like, you know, Nazis in World War II is history. We all know how that turned out. Indiana Jones and his dad, we don't know that story unless we've seen the movie, but like, we don't know that story. That's the story that, you know, that Spielberg and his collaborators can tell and get us hooked in and resolve in a satisfying way. Cause like, we know, even if Indiana Jones doesn't, you know, stop the Nazis from getting the Grail, like we know they lost the war. World War II is over. We know they lost the war. So there's not a lot of tension there, but Indiana's dad, you know, that's up in the
air. This ain't the war between the states.
Yeah, exactly. So what were you going to say? You said you disagreed about the changing it from one thing to another?
Yes. There is no shift. They've been saying that. They've been telling you since the damn beginning. Remember the little droop of the hat? Indy's not in it for the Grail. And then he tells the guy who's there to kill him. Yeah, but
Indy's not in it for the Grail.
But that's the movie saying to you, it's not about this. That's the window dressing. This is about what it's about. But because of Raiders, and also because Nazis are always the bad guys, like it's playing with audience expectations. Like, you know, but there's Nazis, right? The Nazis are the bad guys. Well, yeah, okay, the Nazis are the bad guys. Yes, Nazis are bad guys. Let's be clear on that.
Yeah.
But that's not what this story is. That's not the spine of this story. You know?
Right.
That's everything that's attached to the spine. And yes, that's part of it. But the spine is Indiana Jones and his relationship with his father. So
it's like something that I know you have told me a lot. And when we've talked about stuff, it's the distinction between story and plot. The Nazi stuff serves the plot, but the heart of the story is the father-son. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, not many more sleeps too. I guess you're excited about the new Indiana Jones movie. Good for you.
You know what? Honestly, if
you enjoy it,
and also, you know what? If the reviews come out and the reviews are very positive, I might go see it in the theater. But if the reviews come out and they say, "Oh, no," bad idea, then I'm going to skip it. But I mean, it's Indiana Jones. I love Indiana Jones.
When is it even coming out?
It comes
Next
out
weekend?
on weekend after next. It comes out on the 30th.
I could go. I probably won't.
Yeah.
Because that's like in between ALA and
Right.
NEA.
And yeah.
But
yeah.
Nope. And there's no Ask Away that weekend either. Y'all have to figure out something else to do because
But a lot depends on what the advanced buzz is, because we're far enough out that like there haven't really been reviews of it.
Yeah, they've just been
really. I think the reviews are probably still embargoed. They're not, most professional critics have seen it by now. They've probably had advanced screenings, but they haven't been allowed to release it.
Cast Iron Case, that's what I was saying. I love that because it makes so much sense. He goes, you know what? You're right. And he shoots the dad. It's like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, spoiler alert. When in Goblet of Fire, Voldemort says, kill the spare. And then we start building to the climax. I'm like, oh, she's going to kill off Fred or George because she's got an extra.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know which one it is. I have no idea. I can never remember which one dies, which one lives.
I can't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. One of them. It really
doesn't.
One of the Weasley twins.
And this was also before we knew about, the problems. But
yes.
When the book came out, and one of the twins died and the other one lived, I was like, oh, called it. I felt pretty good about myself. But yeah, that was just, I mean, it's so sensible. Like I said earlier with Elsa saying, no, don't kill them. If something has happened to the map, then we need them alive. So it's the classic, oh, we didn't shoot them because we needed to create this, big villain trap. Nope. Didn't need to do that. The weird, it's already over there. So yeah.
255 AD, I don't know. I don't think there was any CGI in this movie. CGI existed in 1989, but I can't think of any shot.
It looks like some overlays and stuff. It doesn't
there
look
were,
like
yeah,
CGI
there were.
to
I
me,
mean, there was like, there were some matte shots and a lot of sort of more traditional effects. But I don't. There aren't any shots that jump out. I don't know for a fact that there are any CGI shots, and I would assume that there aren't. But which shots do you think? Which shots were you wondering about? You can throw it in the chat real quick before we wrap it up. And
JT, because I'm doing this for you, man. I don't know if you can hear that, but you're saying nothing can go wrong.
Knock on wood. Hopefully it's a good. I hope it's a good movie. I hope for the sake of everyone involved, it's a good movie, because Harrison Ford, I've always enjoyed his work. I love Indiana Jones. James Mangold, the director of the new one, is a terrific filmmaker.
What else has he done?
He did Walk the Line. He did The Wolverine and also Logan.
Okay.
Which is, especially Logan, is just fucking fantastic. Is the best X-Men movie. Period. So yeah, he's a really good director. He's done other stuff too, but he's a really solid director, and I like his work. So hopefully, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and also,
do we know anything about the writer?
No, let me. You know what? Let me Google it real quick.
Because you'll probably tell me, and just like I'm like, I have seen exactly none of those movies, but if it sounds like it's something that he has done a good job with, and you want to see it because of the direction, more power to you.
Yeah. Wow. Written by Jez Butterworth, John Henry Butterworth, ooh, a duo, and David Koepp, who is a big time screenwriter who's written tons of stuff. He's worked with Spielberg before. He wrote some of the Jurassic Park movies, and he's worked on the Mission Impossible movies. I think he might have worked on a Spider-Man movie too. Yeah, he wrote the original Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Mad Men 22. I remember I've heard both about the some of the shots that were done in CGI in Jurassic Park and some of the ones that you might think were CGI but were physical effects, and it's fun to see how they make those decisions. Yeah.
There's quite a few shots in Jurassic Park that that are practical effects or that are more traditional special effects. But okay, 285D, that's the shot I was thinking of too, the blades in the tunnel. No, that's not CGI. That they are effects. I mean, they're not really there. They're composites, but they're not CGI. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I like the first time you see them, you don't really see them. You just kind of see a whoosh. And then the shot with the essentially, I don't know if it counts as a cutaway, but you see what happens with the blade. That's just brilliant.
Yeah.
I really like that. I mean, you know what happens even before you see the head rolling down the aisle. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
So
JT says the morphing in the aging shot may have been done by computer. That's possible. But I mean, yeah, but yeah,
that looks almost claymation-esque in some of it.
Yes.
It's fun. Yes.
Yes. Oh, it's such a great effect. Yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah, his head goes back, and that's when the eyeballs disappear. It's so great.
Yeah.
Ace Rumble, exactly. Now you say filmmaking has been capable of some pretty amazing effects long before CGI, so I'm pretty sure they didn't feel the need to risk it for this film. And that's, we were talking earlier about The Mandalorian and the use of the magic backdrop. Yeah. And the thing is, when you know you've got the text and you know you can nail it, and you do it for the first time, I mean, that's movie magic. It's just
absolutely
really, really cool. I mean, I remember going to see Jurassic Park, and it was just like, I mean, it wasn't like you were there, but you had that reaction. It was like, holy shit, it's dinosaurs. It's just like there are people in there with dinosaurs, and it was real.
Yeah.
And it was very much like, I mean, I'm sure you've heard about people watching some of the early movies about the train coming at them, and they were just like, oh,
absolutely.
Shit.
The train,
it's
or like the famous shot of the cowboy shooting at the camera in The Great Train Robbery. I mean, there were people who had never seen a movie before. It was like 1895 or something. Like people who had never seen a movie before, like a guy shooting at the camera. They're like, whoa.
Yep.
You can't blame them. I mean, movies were brand new.
Well,
you can't,
I know, but they knew to be scared of somebody. They knew enough about guns. Guns were so common that they're like, oh, somebody's shooting. I need to get down. Just like, okay, because welcome to America, folks. This is nothing new.
It's kind of always been a problem.
For a long time.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean, there were a lot of non-CGI shots in Jurassic Park for sure. And, I know Spielberg has told this story, and it's been in making of documentaries a lot. There was a point when they were in pre-production where Spielberg wasn't sure if he was going to do CGI for the dinosaurs. He almost went with stop motion. And because there's a stop motion technique that we actually talked about in a recent episode of Late Seating that was developed in the early 80s. It was actually used a little bit in The Empire Strikes Back, and then it was used in Dragon Slayer, which was the movie we were reviewing.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, and it was called go motion, which is a variation on the stop motion technique, where instead of moving the model and then like basically taking a picture of it, the model is actually moved during the exposure of the frame. So you can create a little bit of motion blur, and it's a smoother motion. The animation is more convincing, but it still looks like stop motion. It looks a lot smoother and a lot more convincing than traditional stop motion, where they just expose a static frame one at a time. But it doesn't quite look, and that was the thing that hung Spielberg up. He was like, this is going to be the best looking stop motion ever, but it's still going to look like stop motion.
It's going to look like stop motion. It's not going to look like real dinosaurs.
Right. And Spielberg really wanted it to be completely immersive. And so that when you're looking at the screen, you're not thinking that it's a special effect. It doesn't even enter your mind. You're just thinking, holy shit, that's a dinosaur. You're so caught up
in the dinosaurs.
Yeah. So that's why he went with CGI. And, the rest is history. Now everything's CGI, but I mean, it worked out for Jurassic Park.
I mean, and not everything, because
not everything. We just said like not everything, but yeah.
I do wish, and we're seeing. I think Pixar has had a huge influence on that as well.
Yes.
I um I wish, and we're seeing, you see more animation styles, and it's one of the reasons I freaking love Spider-Verse, because
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
it's something different and good, different and good.
Yes.
You're also seeing a lot, and although there's been a lot of repetition of really good 2D animation, that's still CG. I mean, it's definitely, like, drawing on light boards and stuff like that.
Right.
And shifting from one frame to the next and things like that. But it's it doesn't have that rendered look that the
Yeah.
Pixar movies always do. Um,
It
I
looks more
really
like
wish,
traditional 2D animation. Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah.
wish they do. And there's so much that they could do that we've seen in the Spider-Verse movies, and it's there are like sort of lighting type effects that they can do.
Yeah.
And there's like, and then even with like rendered CG, there's more you can do. Book of Life, absolutely brilliant, just delightful. It doesn't look like every Pixar
Yeah.
movie ever does. And
That's
I
the thing is,
wish they would
I
push the
mean, and
envelope.
by the way,
Coraline, stop motion,
yeah.
fantastic to watch.
Yeah. And by the
And
way,
creepy.
Cheeseness in the chat said, yeah, Go Motion was developed by Phil Tippett. That's correct. Well,
Coraline's
yeah, I
creepy,
mean,
and yet it's still not as creepy as the book, but I will say that. But anyway, just
I think
ranting.
what part of it is like, you know, Hollywood studio executives are not creative and are not and are
Mhm.
extremely risk averse. So like as soon as the Pixar movies became big hits, like as soon as Toy Story was like, the big movie, everybody was like, okay, everything's going to look like that.
Yeah.
And that's why there are certain, you need to wait for the right filmmaker and the right studio to have
Hmm.
to take the risk to believe in that filmmaker. So you can do an animated movie that isn't just Pixar style, that it does
Yeah.
have its own
And there's a
style.
lot of good shorts out that are
Sure.
playing with different styles as well,
Yeah.
that sort of push that envelope. And now that I mean, like you've seen, you can do things that wouldn't have been possible when we were kids. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
yes, camcorders were a thing, but like what an independent filmmaker can do now is
Oh,
just so much
I
better.
mean, it's a completely different universe even from when we were teenagers. I mean, I remember
Hmm.
like Clerks came out when I
Hmm.
was 14 and you were 16. And
Hmm.
Clerks cost Kevin Smith like $30,000 because he had to shoot it on film
Hmm.
with rented equipment,
Hmm.
like, I mean, just like most movies are shot, even major studios rent their cameras, you know what I mean? Like, so he had to do it the old fashioned way, like an independent film, and raise all that money and, max out his credit cards and blah, blah, blah. And nowadays you could make a movie like Clerks. I mean, you couldn't make it for free. Like it would still cost some money, but nowhere
You
near
can shoot
that. I
stuff
mean,
on your phone.
you can shoot stuff on your phone. You can get a camera like the one I use for my YouTube videos. The camera I use for my YouTube videos cost probably close to $1,000 when I got it many, many years ago. Where'd Dana go? Dana just disappeared. Hopefully she comes back. Um, let me, whoa, let me go over here until she pops back in. But yeah, I mean, the camera I use for my YouTube videos, uh, costs maybe a few $100 now. And, you know, like Dana said, you could shoot movies on your phone. And if you have the right computer to edit them on and to scale it up and to clean it up and make it look good, I mean, you could do something on, oh, she just messaged me. We'll just Dana just messaged me and said, I just suddenly lost everything. So we'll hang out for a minute and see if she can get back in. Kara, it wasn't me. It was not me. Oh, here she is.
Hello?
There she is. Hello. You're back.
No, it went dark, and like I messaged you on the phone, and
okay,
through Messenger, and I was just like, and I thought like the computer had completely crashed. It's been stormy here, and I was like, oh crap. I mean, like the lights are still on, so I'm like, we didn't lose power. I thought maybe something had fritzed the computer, and then I'm like,
how long has it been since you turned off your computer and just let it take a rest for a while?
Like last night, usually I turn it off and then I let it
okay.
Yeah, I let it, make sure it's
because I know you keep browsers open and have like a trillion tabs. I didn't know if you had just
I know, but if you
turn
but if you Alt F4 it, like you can go into the history and say just restore the tabs.
Yeah,
so
I can
shut it down.
So that's what you've been doing to hold on to all those tabs.
The things that I want to reply to and haven't figured out what to say, or like Reddit threads that I want to come back to after the whole Reddit blackout is over. So.
I see. That's one of those things about you I just cannot relate to at all.
No.
A Reddit is the most useless website in the world to me. I'm just like, why would anybody spend 20 seconds on Reddit?
Well, we don't always like the same things, Steve. I
know. I mean, and I'm not. Yeah. I'm not like, it's good to not always like the same things as other people in your life, but yeah, it's like almost every time you've ever read me like a thing from Reddit, I've just been like,
yeah, I like that. Like, yeah, you don't like. I like the what are they called?
Malicious compliance.
I like
those would be nice if you could just. Can you just sum this up? My problem with that is like, can you sum this up in a fucking paragraph? Why are you writing me a book about this? They just go on and on and on. It's like, motherfucker.
Well, it takes me a little while to like speak it out, but like I can read ridiculously fast. The way that you feel about like reading is the way that I generally feel about TV shows and movies.
I don't have anything against reading. I just it's like,
well, I'm saying my point is that it doesn't take very long. Like it's this long, but it just it's like maybe a minute to get through it. I'm like,
I guess if you're
but then when I'm like reading it out, it takes like so much longer.
You've sent me, but it's not always when you're reading them to me. You've sent me links to them, and I'm like, I get a paragraph in, and I'm like, this goes on forever, and I do not give a shit about any of this.
And that is how I feel about most television movies.
Why are you writing Moby Dick about the time you did a thing at work that you thought would be? It's like, God damn it, get to the fucking point. Anyway.
No, I don't know if I saw your Jurassic Park comment, but it scrolled past. I did see JT's. Hard to believe that Toy Story is 28 years old. 28 years old. Wow. I'm just like, like I've given up. Although I did get to not exactly mess with a student. This is at this point several years ago. And they were talking about, they were in chorus and talking about whatever the a cappella movie was.
Oh,
fuck. But what I'm thinking. Anyway, so
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect. Yeah, and I was like, that's been out for a while. And they're like, yeah, but it came out in. They said it just came out in 2010. I'm like, so yeah, this is how I knew this was right before COVID. I said that's almost a decade ago.
Yeah, like, 2010.
They're like, no, I said, so these 8th graders, they wouldn't have even been in school yet. They would have been too young to see the movie. And they're like, welcome to the rest of your life, kiddo. This is how it's going to feel for the rest of your life.
It's only going to get worse from here, kid.
And more so.
It's only going to get worse from here, kid. 255 AD with a super chat. Thank you for, I mean, I saw this already. You didn't have to pay me to say it, but I appreciate the super chat, my friend. Clerks came out when I was 20 months old. Yep. There's an age difference between us. There's an age difference. Yeah. I was 14.
A lot of them do put a TLDR at the end, but the thing is, like I said, I often don't watch YouTube videos. I'm like, oh God, please, is there a transcript? Because I can get through it. I can get through it faster. And B, also, like, if there's something that I want to learn, I can go to that point and focus on that. And then I can go do the thing and come back to it and double check and go to it. And it's like, it's not like I have to pull the scroll bar back and have them say it to me again. Like, rereading it doesn't feel repetitive. Have somebody tell me whatever it is again and again and again. Ooh, I don't like that. I did have to do that when I was fixing the dryer. I had to go back and, put this thing here, put this thing here.
Oh, to make sure you're,
go back. Yes. But, and I did it, but it still was annoying as heck. Dryer got fixed, so it was worth it.
I'll tell you what, though, I agree with what Kara says. You do need to put a TLDR at the end, and then you need to highlight everything before the TLDR and delete it, and just make the TLDR the thing that you write. 255 AD says, Jurassic Park was one of the movies I made my parents watch over and over when I was little. I remember my mother telling me the T-Rex just want to make friends with them. Well, I mean,
it's smiling at us.
Your mother was wrong. Your mother was wrong.
No, mama.
But it's very sweet of her to try and send that message. Like, oh, the T-Rex doesn't mean any harm. It's just trying to make friends. Anyway, okay. Shall we bring the festivities to a close? Let's wrap it up, and
no Wordle tonight, folks.
Yes, no way. Well, we don't play Wordle on Friday anyway.
After 9 o'clock.
We play Wordle on Wednesday. We don't play Wordle on Friday.
We are old and it is past our bedtime.
That's right. It is. So we haven't really decided when we're going to do this next or what the next movie is going to be. We'll think of something at some point and we'll let you know. But
has to be one we'll both like. So that makes it something we challenge.
There's plenty of movies we both like.
There is, but although we do have significant, given how aligned we are in some ways,
our tastes do diverge at certain points. That's very true. That's very true. Yep. But we'll do this again sometime. And of course, we'll be back on Wednesday for Trek Reluctantly. Mm-hmm. We'll be watching Deep Space Nine again. We'll be watching. Yeah, or not? Are you busy Wednesday?
Yes, we will. Okay. And so. Actually, Wednesday is great for the next couple of weeks. I do have July 5th. We'll be down in Orlando for the NEA convention, but the American Library Association convention is I'll be leaving Thursday. So not this.
Okay.
And then getting back on Tuesday.
We'll have 2 more episodes of Trek Reluctantly in a row, and then we'll miss July 5th. But that's no problem. Yeah. So but next Wednesday will be Deep Space Nine. We will be watching Return to Grace, which is a good Gul Dukat episode. Yeah.
Gotta love what we were talking about. The villains. Villains are just the best.
The villain who thinks the show is about him. That's what makes him such a good villain. Philip, thank you very much. I will pass that along to Jason. Yes, and for people who have been asking, Jason is doing well. We're recording our podcasts on schedule this weekend. We're all getting together, the 3 of us, to do Ensign's Log on Sunday. Jason and I are also doing late seating, and then tomorrow Jason and I are watching Strange New Worlds and recording our first review of season 2 of that. So Jason is doing good, and I know he appreciates people being worried about him and asking about him. So I will pass that along.
Kara has some suggestions that we might think about. Spaceballs, Young Frankenstein, or perhaps an animated one. That we're not going to say anything now, but maybe we can talk for a minute.
There are some possibilities for sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you all enjoyed the movie as much as we did.
Yes. Good movie.
Yes, indeed. Very good movie. So
thanks again, everybody. Did we talk about
no. Okay, so charitylinks.page.
Yes,
and also there's
thank
a link,
you.
And also there's a link for Jason's GoFundMe if you want to contribute to that to help Jason out with his medical bills.
And also, although I will not be here next Friday, there is an Ask Away next Friday.
That's
or
true.
I may
there
not
is.
be here. I don't know if I'll be able to. So you can, there's a button somewhere around here that you can click to join as a member of this channel, or you can join on patreon.com/Steve
right.
Shives. And
Yes,
then you can send in a question, and Steve has to read it on the air.
Yes, I am
and
bound.
offer his honest thoughts.
I am legally bound.
No, not legally, but by your integrity.
By the code.
By your own personal, professional integrity.
The YouTube code.
As a professional YouTuber.
That's true.
So, yeah. Support Steve's channel.
Thank you. And of course, there's also your Patreon, patreon.com/Dana Coldares, and your own YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dana Coldares. People should be checking that out and supporting you as well.
Leave me comments. That's what I really
Dana
want.
Comments. That's what she likes.
That's what
All right.
That's the good stuff. Thanks so much, everybody. It was great. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Good night.